On my snark, they posted a photo that I had posted of my visa showing that I got the O1 work visa right here, type class O1 work visa, which is this visa that you use. They posted this and a lot of people were sending it to me and I had no idea what was wrong here. And then a quick scroll down shows that these people on my snark are actively excited about the fact that they are reporting me to the American Immigrant and Customs Enforcement, ICE. Literally, we have people on my snark that are posting the only time I won't say fuck ICE, and they're showing that they are reporting me to ICE. Now, there's a big conversation that's going on here. The first one being that they are saying that I am on a religious work visa because they can't read clearly, and they're seeing the R instead of the O1 visa, which again, the O1 visa, this is, I mean, please, people, we need to read. There is an entire thread on here about how they are analyzing that I am on an R1 non-immigrant visa that is for religious organizations to perform religious duties. Now, people, we have got to use a little bit of common sense here to know that that is not the visa that I am under. However, there is an entire thread where people have spent 11 days dissecting my visa, incorrectly, by the way, implying that I'm here on religious activities, which number one, isn't true, but number two, has now started this movement where they are all reporting me to ICE. Now, I just want to clarify one thing, which is that ICE are targeting and kidnapping from the Hispanic and Latino communities around America, okay? And my snark are choosing to further engage with that organization of ICE, which are kidnapping Americans all around America. They decided to continue supporting ICE by reporting me to ICE. And there's multiple of them on this thread that have admitted that they have put in an application towards ICE to do something to me, okay? But again, I want to clarify that these people are supporting the ICE organization that is genuinely just fucking kidnapping from so many different communities around America, specifically targeting the Latino and Hispanic communities. And there's something really troubling to me, right? And again, I've said time and time again that when it comes to snark, I pretty much will put my hands up and kind of just allow people to do whatever they're doing. Because again, I don't want to criticize how people talk about people, even if that is me, because then who am I to judge? Because I talk about people on my YouTube. But I think that there's something truly, truly, truly disgusting about weaponizing ICE against people. I think that there's something so disgusting about that. And I think the audacity to have an entire snark dedicated to how I, Adam McIntyre, am a bad person while you in your communities are joining forces, supporting ICE, giving them information, first of all, that's incorrect, but just further ICE.
Hello, welcome to my channel, and do I have a bit of a rage rant for you? The Monday morning after the 4th of July weekend, I checked Instagram after I woke up and found that Adam McIntyre put out a statement that several individuals in a subreddit created to snark him had submitted a false report on him to ICE. I'm going to read the statement before I get into why that's a problem, and I'm fucking ticked that someone stupidly thought it was a good idea to get Adam detained to spite him. Okay, the statement reads, Adam McIntyre has initiated a formal legal investigation in response to serious defamatory actions perpetrated by individuals associated with a subreddit known as AdamMcIntyreSnark. It has come to our attention that members of this subreddit have knowingly submitted false and malicious reports to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE, alleging fraudulent activity concerning Mr. McIntyre's immigration status. These claims are entirely baseless and constitute both defamation and false reporting to federal authorities, which are offenses under U.S. law. As grateful as I am that Adam and his team are taking legal action against the individuals that submitted the false report, I'm still steamed that they posted about it in the first place. In fact, I've been steamed long before I found this post because ICE has made headlines all year for showing up in unmarked vehicles and kidnapping immigrants and dissidents that are of African, Latino, and Middle Eastern descent. They detain them with no due process, meaning that ICE can imprison them for as long as they see fit or until a court orders their release. I've always had this crippling fear that if this can happen to immigrants, regardless of their status, it can happen to anyone. Trying to get Adam McIntyre in trouble with ICE for allegedly committing visa fraud opens the possibility that an innocent individual would be reported to the agency by a snitch. I know it sounds alarmist, but President Trump has floated the idea of prosecuting his critics if he gained more power over the federal government, and that tells me everything I need to know about why submitting a false report to ICE is dangerous. Adam put out that statement at a time where people across the country are protesting against this abuse of power, and in hindsight, it could be interpreted as another reason to condemn the agency. Actually, that reason might be valid because if ICE does detain Adam in a worst-case scenario, we wouldn't hear from him for weeks, if not months. A Canadian man facing deportation died in ICE custody last June, and his cause of death is still under investigation. He supported Trump and had been convicted of racketeering, granted, but 11 in-custody deaths reported within a span of half a year is not a good sign for what could happen to an innocent life. So, what drove the individuals in the Adam McIntyreSnark subreddit to file that report to ICE? I checked it and the YouTube drama sub to get a better sense of the situation, and I discovered that a photo of Adam's work visa was posted on that Snark subreddit in a now deleted post, and these individuals erroneously thought he was visiting for religious reasons, so they submitted that false report. One user involved left this comment in a screenshot that confirmed that the report went through. The only time I won't say fuck ICE. Like you ever did. It's mind-blowing that they're stupid enough to admit that they're completely blind to morality. You don't get to condemn ICE if getting a public figure you hate in trouble with them as a prank is the only time you think they're allowed to exist. From what I recall from seeing Adam's Instagram stories, he had a work visa in the US that authorizes him to be employed because he was traveling across the country for his chronically online tour. He still had a sold-out independent show left to do in New York, so his visa was still valid. I took a closer look at the Adam McIntyreSnark subreddit, and I was appalled to see that it has no active moderators. The only user to oversee that sub quit over personal issues, turning it into a lawless wasteland. Anything and everything posted to trash Adam went. Based on how Reddit is cooperating with this investigation, its fate had been strongly under question. I normally believe that it's baseless to hold an entire subreddit accountable for one person's or several people's actions. On the other hand, in a case like this where there are no moderators to step in when someone brags about filing a false report about someone they hate to law enforcement, it's not far off to predict that this subreddit might be taken down, and that's dependent on how the investigation is handled. And would you look at that? The sub got banned for being unmoderated. That's the best news I've heard about this situation since it started. It took Reddit long enough to notice that violation, that's for sure. The users that submitted the false report to ICE are definitely going to have to answer for pranking them, since it violates 18 U.S.C. Section 1001, which makes it a felony to lie to an agency in the federal government and is punishable by up to 5 years in prison if convicted. You're kidding! 5 years for pranking ICE in an attempt to get rid of a YouTuber that's been living in your heads rent-free. Am I reading this right? Seems like the users involved need that sentence to reflect on that level of obsession. They've since deleted their accounts in hopes of covering their tracks, but Reddit's involvement in the investigation is a strong indication that they're going to be caught at one point anyway, and they might turn over the account data they retain to the police. I just want these users to be held accountable for lying to ICE, and I hope Adam McIntyre gets the justice he deserves from having to deal with it. The snark subreddit getting banned is an outcome I fully support because in the comments of the last couple of posts I've seen before then, its community members were undoubtedly losing their minds. They stated that they don't support ICE, and a user issued a half-assed apology to Adam when in fact they were complicit with that behavior by letting it stand. Why the hell did Ethan Klein argue that Adam rightfully deserved that? Is it because he gave shoutouts to communities talking crap about him? Okay, cool. I don't care that Adam made stupid choices and he supported crappy public figures / spaces. I don't care that he's disliked by some observers because Adam did this, Adam did that. None of these changed the fact that he is a victim of a false report that could make him a target to a government agency that's already being scrutinized for its inhumane treatment of immigrants living in the United States for any reason. I'm not going to minimize the possible repercussions of the situation because a corner of the internet can't stand him. It's been a week and fortunately, ICE hasn't shown up at his doorstep yet, but no one can predict when or if they do. They almost always go after the immigrants they target when least expected and detain them by surprise. That's just about the end of my rant. I'm going to exit stage left. Fuck these users to hell. I'm out of here. Go.